Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. This week, we're getting ready for Zendikar, just like everybody else. So we
That's right.
thought we have some physical packs. We're going to crack some physical packs. Gavin Verhey is going to join us, and we're going to hang out. We're going to open some stuff. Steve and I have some collector boosters. Gavin has some set boosters and a pre-release pack, and we're going to take a look at all of it and maybe do a little bit of prep work for pre-releases, which
Maybe
are
a little.
happening on MTG. Yeah, maybe a little bit, which are happening on MTG Arena and Magic: The Gathering Online right now, and will be happening in stores where they can happen this weekend, starting this weekend. You can actually do them for about a week now, and then it'll release next week. So, but first, before we get to cracking all the packs, Steve is going to do the news.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on right now. Obviously, there are Zendikar Rising. We're all hyped for Zendikar Rising coming up. But this past weekend, we had the Mythic Invitational, and we did indeed crown a Mythic Invitational champion. We have the final bracket that you can take a look at here. If you didn't have a chance to catch the stream, those videos are available on demand right now. And you can tell from this final bracket, it was a stacked top 8. And eventually, it was Seth Manfield who triumphed. He won the hard way. Losing in one of the first rounds and having to battle his way back in the lower bracket. But Seth won the Mythic Invitational 2020, and it was really close to his 30th birthday as well. So happy birthday, Seth. You are the Mythic Invitational 2020 champion. And yeah, I think what we're going to do now is we're just going to open up some booster packs. And we talk to Gavin. Gavin's here. Where's Gavin? Are you here?
Gavin's here.
Hey!
Whoa. I'm so glad to be here, everybody. Hello to everyone out in the chat. Wow, 30 for Seth Manfield. I also turned 30 this year, and I'm not sure how I feel about those happening at the same time. But congratulations to Seth once again. There were some great games in that top 8, too. So
pretty incredible. It was the first big major Magic tournament to showcase Historic as a format in the competitive scene. And, man, I really enjoyed watching all those games. I don't know if you had a chance to catch any of it, Gavin.
Yeah, I was able to catch a little bit of it, especially there were a few games I know being linked around Twitter as like must-watch games. So really, really cool stuff, and it's awesome to see Historic featured at that level.
Excellent. Well, we have a bunch of boosters to open up and show people what's in the set and what's in these various booster packs. And Blake is all set up, it looks like, to open up some collector boosters.
Yeah,
So
but before we get to that, Gavin, where'd you get your shirt?
Yeah, well, can do links work in chat? I can post a link in chat, but it's on our Amazon site right now. And there's actually a link. If you go to any one of my Good Morning Magic videos, shameless plug, and you look in the description, there's a link there about where you can find the shirts that I wear. And this one is currently at the top of the list because it's going to be in my video tomorrow. So just go to one of my Good Morning Magic videos, click on that Amazon link. You'll go right there and see it. It's sweet. We've got a whole new line of awesome Zendikar shirts. I've got this one, then I've got one right over there that's like the Planeswalker logo with someone rappelling down the side of it, which is pretty cool. So there's some cool new stuff.
Nice. All right, let's get to the things that people want. So this is a Zendikar Rising collector booster. I did take the main wrapper off of it before we got there, but it's got two box toppers and a bunch of packs. And we'll get to the packs in a sec. Now we're going to start with the box topper expedition. So there are 30 of these. They are
all the box toppers are non-foil. Is that right, Blake?
God, now I'm not remembering this correctly. Let's find out here. Non-foil. Look at that. Bloodstained Mire.
Bloodstained Mire.
That's a pretty good flip. 1 in 3 chance, essentially, to get a fetch land. Let's see what this second one is.
I do love that key-drawn border. I really, really like it. It's one of the cooler borders I think we've done.
Black Cleave Cliffs. All right. We're
they go in the same deck.
Clearly meant to do some black-red stuff. Yeah. So, yes, they are. The box toppers are non-foil. However, in the collector boosters, that's where you can get them in foil.
That's right. So,
you're basically ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. You've got
what are we waiting for?
So there are a number of foils in the collector booster. Right? There are a number of foil commons and uncommons.
5, 6, 7.
I believe there's a.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just slide these up here. Yeah, little foil Molten Blast, foil Seafloor Stalker, little Blood Price, everybody's favorite Zendikar Ox.
McKinney Ox.
Redworm, Skyclave Pickaxe, Song Mad Treachery, which is the, and you'll notice the foiling on both sides.
That's a
And
modal
then, of
double
course,
face card.
yes, and then of course the foil
Foil
full art land.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
And then, we got a commander staple here in my extended art slot. So that is a Thieving Skydiver.
So that's the extended art thing that we introduced with collector boosters back in. Well, I guess we introduced the treatment back in Ultimate Masters, and then we continued it in Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah. All right. And for one of my foil rares, I have Roiling Vortex, a card that's going to kill me a lot as we go through this format. Then I've got a couple of Showcase Landfall cards. I've got Canopy Baloth and Prowling Felidar. And then we've got one of the extended art. Oops.
Oh, there we go.
On camera. Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Border
So
lock
that is
branch
what one of the borderless flip lands.
I haven't even
And
seen one
then
of those.
we've got.
They look so good.
Yeah, this is
Like,
this is
way
the first
art
one I've
goes
seen.
all the way to the edge.
Wow.
All the way
That's
to the
really
edge.
cool. I actually haven't seen one of those in real life either. I still haven't. It's on your screen, but you know what I mean.
Then we have a foil showcase, Hellhound.
So the showcase,
granola.
Gavin, you might know a little bit more about this. The showcase frame, that really cool Hedron frame, that's on all of the landfall cards. All those cards are landfall cards. Is that correct?
Right.
Mhm.
So we kind of started to pick a theme to unify our showcase cards. For example, with the adventure cards in Throne of Eldraine, that's what got the showcase treatment. And here we've got all of the landfall cards having a cool showcase version. And the landfall showcase treatment happens in a couple places, there's a couple things going on with it. The first is it's got this kind of Hedron frame, which Steve alluded to earlier. And then the art is all done in this kind of travel poster style aesthetic of, like, if you think about the bright, vibrant styles often used in like fun travel posters, that's kind of what we were going for here. So you have kind of this fun tour of Zendikar, of the many wonderful creatures of Zendikar, and yeah, this great Hedron frame, of course, has a big Zendikar element to tie it all together.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then I've got one more card in the pack. I've got a foil expedition, and
Ooh.
true to form, we're just getting all the black red ones.
Luxury suite. All right, there we go. There we go. You got the treasure
awesome.
there.
So foil luxury suite, and then foil double-sided token. We got some Hydra. We got some Cat Beast. All right, well, that's
and you
one.
Get a
Let's
foil
keep going.
expedition, and you get a foil expedition about 1 in every 6 collector boosters too. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. Very
Yeah,
cool.
right off the bat.
I like your cruel ultimatum playmat, Blake. That's going to go great with these black-red
yeah.
lands. I'm not gonna do that much.
All right, pack number 2. We got a foil Resolute Strike, little Jiraga Visionary, great for filling out your party. Sizzling Barrage, Dauntless Unity, Highborn Vampire, Windrider Wizard, Marasa Root Grazer. Let's stay up here. And then we've got a foil Full Art Forest by
I'm
Adam
really glad
McKay.
they every time we come back to Zendikar, we get these full art with a border lands that premiered with original Zendikar. It's been cool every time to go back to see sort of how it's changed. Gotta keep Cup Island in there somehow though. So I'm glad we
Gotta keep Cup Island in there.
Cup
Yeah.
Island is important.
I like that the Zendikar has the upgraded Cup Island. Like, it has the, like, okay, we've seen Cup Island for a while. Now it's like the larger, more upgraded version of the Cup Island. That's pretty cool.
It's evolved somehow.
All right. Next up, we have Extended Art Legion Angel. And then foil rare, we have Valakut Awakening,
Which is a modal double-faced card. You can play it either as the spell or as the land that's on the back of it.
Yeah. Then we have my dog barking in the background. And beyond that. What's that?
I was going to say the dog is clearly wanting some of this adventure. This is the thing. Wants all those adventures.
My dog is unfortunately getting older, and so she now barks at literal everything. Okay, I got some spice coming up. So we've got a Brushfire Elemental. Really
Ooh.
strong red-green landfall card. Also just gorgeous.
Yeah, the gold Hedron border with the colors around it
Yeah.
too, of the two colors of the card is really, really great. It's amazing.
But you know what? We can beat that.
Oh, can we? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
have very
Lotus
fond
Cobra.
memories of Lotus Cobra when it originally got printed in the first Zendikar.
Yep. So did a lot of people. All right. Then we got Spitfire Lugak, Andrew Brown's favorite card in foil showcase.
I honestly probably I think Andrew just like saying Lagak.
Lugak.
Lagak is one of those
Lugak.
words that clearly just is what it sounds like, right? If someone says the word Lagak, you can see it in your head. You understand what's going on. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I did not get another expedition in this pack. I got a Shadow's Verdict foil
Very
extended. Cool. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going a little bit.
Yeah. This is great.
So
why not? Why not?
Gavin, with the collector boosters, we get to see a lot of the showcase frames and a lot of the cool work that we've done with Booster Fun. Can you talk a little bit about the process that you as a part of the product team sort of went through in developing what these frames are going to look like, how you work with Studio X, the greater tabletop studio, to focus on a theme for it, and how that process sort of works?
Yeah, so there's a few people who are really hammer on the collector boosters, and one of them, of course, I couldn't talk about the collector boosters without mentioning Mike Turian, who was the main project architect for Zendikar Rising, and also really helped lead the charge on these collector boosters. And so when it comes to what shows up in these, there was a lot of stuff to manage between the expeditions in the set, the unique showcase frames, the extended art stuff. And we really wanted this to be kind of an explosion of Zendikar goodness in every pack, right? You open up one of these collector boosters, and you just get a lot of stuff that feels like you're getting the best of what Zendikar has to offer. Which is why there is a foil full art land in every pack. Which is why you have a chance of getting those foil expeditions 1 in every 6, which is really, really awesome. Also, why you get 2 expeditions as your box toppers in these. Really, just kind of show off the wide range of what there is, including the modal double face cards, the great new showcase Hedron frames, really kind of playing it all up. So I feel with boosters is always kind of, we want you to open one up and just feel like you have some of the coolest stuff in the set. And here we are, 3 packs in, and I'm already feeling like, wow, there's just so much great stuff in these boosters, especially as Blake has on screen right now. These pathways are just so gorgeous. The fact that art goes all the way to the edges, it's so cool. I love those.
It's really, really awesome. And to clarify, you get 1 box topper in set booster boxes and draft booster boxes, and you get 2 if you get a collector's booster box. Is that right?
Correct. Yep, that's correct. So with this collector booster box opening right now, that's why we opened up 2 of them.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Still going.
I think it's also nice to have when you're trying to fill out like a deck or something like that. All these commons and uncommons that are foil are just great to be able to build up your collection. Make sure that your commander deck's foiled out, or whatever deck you're building in standard can be foiled out too. So I like that those are in there as well as a nice touch, and kind of like at the beginning to build your anticipation for the rest of the pack. Because every time Blake is laying them out, I'm like just getting excited, right? And then we start seeing this.
That's a pretty saucy Leyline Tyrant right there.
Leyline Tyrant, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Kindi Ox.
Slide these over a bit. It's the Ox.
Gotta love that Ox. It's everybody's favorite Ox.
I would love to know in chat. So this is the Zendikar showcase frame, the Hedron frame. What do you think about it? Do you like it? How do you like it compared to some of the like Theros ones or Eldraine ones? We're always looking for feedback on these, so please let us know.
What do you got?
I also know that cowards can't block warriors.
Oh, the best. My favorite line of text on the entire card, the entire set. My favorite.
Felidar Retreat is just like. I have fond memories of Retreat to Emeria, and this is just a souped up version of the card. Yeah. It's also pretty. All right, we keep going. Let's see.
We press on in this adventure.
We press on.
Felidar Retreat is a really, really strong. If you open one up in limited, if you're playing pre-release, which we might talk about later on, You're going to
Yeah.
want to play that one. It's a powerhouse.
Play, splash for it. Do whatever you can. We got divination upgrade.
Yeah, field research. That might even have some
Bubble
standard
Snare.
links, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, divination is like kind of can be close to standard playable sometimes, and the fact that it's 6 mana, it upgrades to draw 3, not impossible. I mean, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk.
This island looks so good in foil.
That's pretty.
Oh
like
my
most
God.
islands look good in foil.
It's
play,
not a
but-
cup island, but it's
Oh, I love that one.
Ooh, I like this. So
Ooh, very
this
nice.
is one of the rare modal double face cards.
Undo
And
inversion.
then-
Extended art on the modal double face card is really, really cool because it, it feels like it wraps around the whole card, right? Because it just kind of
Mhm.
continues.
Oh, yeah.
You turn it over and you still see it on the side, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
I never actually noticed that. That's awesome.
And then we've got another of the pathways.
Look at
This
you
one,
with
the
the
red
modal
white
double
one,
face
but
card.
this is
Look at you.
this is a foil pathway. It's not the extended art. We got some Skyclave Squid, some Skyclave G. But we might as well just keep opening pathways.
Keep opening
Wow.
up pathways.
This is
Oh,
the
what a-
blue black, right?
Look at
Is that my
you.
third pathway by now? Ooh,
Ooh,
another
what do we
expedition.
got?
Okay, so we have expedition number 2,
And it's foil because it's.
and
Oh, that's
Celestial
real.
Colonnade.
Love me some Celestial
Yeah.
Colonnade.
It is gorgeous.
That
One
is
of my
awesome.
favorite parts from World
That
Link.
is nice.
A great
That
card to
is
cast your
nice.
Multiverse with, I gotta say.
Absolutely.
What better way to cast a Multiverse than attacking with a than having a land that can attack? I love it.
Yep. All right, so this pack will be halfway through my box. After this, we'll switch over to Steve, and Steve will open some of his stuff, and because I want to make sure everybody gets to see a variety of stuff and not just me flipping cards on the table the whole time.
Pretty awesome that we're only 4 packs in, and between the 2 box toppers we got with the collector booster box and these 4 packs, we're already 4 expeditions deep. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
I do really like
planes.
seeing the full art treatment in foil on these basic lands.
Oh man, Akiri. Now
Akiri?
there is something that Commander players will be very excited about. That is hot looking.
Yep, and my foil is another potential commander card, Kaza Royal Chaser. And then we got another good boy, Canopy Baloth. Ooh. Then we've got
Whoa! Hello.
Extended Nissa of
Landfall
Shadow.
Planeswalker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That is not
Yeah.
bad. All right, my foil showcase is a Kazandu Nectar Pot. And then my final foil is Zareth
Ooh.
the Trickster.
Rest in peace, Zareth.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
From the trailer.
I gotta say, I love the open up Akiri and Zareth in the same pack. A little bit of trailer action.
That is
here.
pretty
We're just
great,
missing,
yeah.
We're just missing Nahiri instead of Nissa.
Yeah,
We have the
You should have
trailer.
yeah, with the extended border Nahiri or a borderless Nahiri. That would have been pretty insane.
Would have been
Would have been
pretty
trailer
great.
pack.
All right, I'm going to take a break from opening packs and pass it over to Steve.
Well, Gavin, while I'm setting up the camera, do you want to maybe open up a few set boosters and talk a little bit about what those are? You have some there right next to you.
I'm holding, yes. These are on my desk right next to me. I've just been having them here as a prop for all my videos. Now it's maybe time to crack them open. Now, if you missed it, I did a video last week or maybe 2 weeks ago now where I actually opened up a couple set boosters, so you were able to see that live. You can go check out my Good Morning Magic archives for that. But I've got the rest of the box here, so how about I open up some of these packs?
Let's do it.
So the way the set booster works is this is really, it's not for drafting. It's just meant to crack open and get an experience of what's in the set. And so I'll just kind of walk you through how these things look. So they're 12 cards and 14 objects big. So the first thing you always get in any set booster is an art card. They look like this. And there's like the Modern Horizons art cards. They've got a great shine on them. The back is much like how the backs were in Modern Horizons. So you can have an artist sign it or doodle on it or whatever you want to do. And then the front, once again, is this great art piece. Here we have Umara Mystic by Brian Sola. Very cool. Next up, you get a full art basic land. Here's one of the mountains. Now, a small percent of the time, this can be foil as well. So you can get foil full art basic lands in these. Coming up next,
now, before we go on, I just want.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not on the basic land. I just want to note on the art card, actually. A lot of people have been asking, can we know what the list is? What of these, what art cards are being put in the set boosters? That's going up tomorrow on Daily MTG. We're actually going to show off all of them. And we're actually showing off, Gavin, you might want to mention this too. We're showing off the versions that have the signature on them.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So there's 81 art cards, and there are some that have this gold side and signature on them. That shows up, again, at a small percentage of the time. And basically, we got a bunch of the artists to actually sign their art cards. And then we duplicated that with a gold signature treatment stamp. And it looks fantastic. I have a couple just down here. And maybe if there's a break in the action, I'll pull some out to show people. They're really, really cool. So then we'll move on to the next section of the set booster, which is a really cool new innovation. These are what we call connected commons and uncommons. So basically what you'll get here are all of the commons and all of the uncommons will share a theme with each other in some way. So they're a fantastic deck building hook. So for example, here we've got Field Research, which is a blue kicker card, followed by Into the Royal, which is a blue kicker card, followed by Bubble Snare, which is a blue kicker card. Can't see that very well. There we go, Bubble Snare. Followed by Shell Shield, which is a blue kicker card. So you get 4 blue kicker cards in a row, and hey, one of the themes of Zendikar Rising is there's a kicker deck you can build. Well, hey, all of these go perfectly into that deck, so it kind of jumpstarts that theme. So all of the commons are tied together that you get in this slot, and all the uncommons are also tied together. So we've got 2 uncommons. We've got the Shadow Stinger, which cares about rogues in particular. And then we've got the Cleric of Life's Bond, which cares about clerics. So again, party being a huge mechanic in Zendikar, this is part of a party section where you'll get you got a rogue card, a cleric card, and your party deck is ready to get kick-started. Okay, next up we've got a showcase card from the set. It's kind of head turner experience. So here we have this wonderful little pup right here. Now Blake opened one of these up earlier in foil in the collector booster, but that's what you can kind of expect right here. Then we've got 2 wild card slots. Now these 2 wild cards can be anything, pretty much anything in the set of any rarity. So here we've got a common, the Expedition Healer, and we've got the Sizzling Barrage. Oh, wow, this is pretty wild what I've got here next. So we're just going to continue the theme. We're going to continue the theme a little bit of things you can open up with our rare slot, which is an extended art Crag Crown Pathway, Timber Crown Pathway. So
nice.
Game of opening.
That's just all we're opening today.
That is awesome.
They're all different colors too. I don't think we've opened up a duplicate yet. Could be wrong.
Our commander decks will be ready to go. And then at the back, we get a foil. It could be any foil in the set. We get a Field Research. Once again, nice little draw spell, very shiny. And then in this last slot, we get an add token card, or about a quarter of the time, not in this pack, but about a quarter of the time we open a card from the list. And the list is a list of about 300 curated cards from Magic's history. But what this is actually pretty cool, which is, once again, we debuted this on my channel. These are Magic mini games. So sometimes in set boosters, instead of an ad card, you can get a little mini game you could play with the pack. Annie Sardellis and a team that she ran came up with a bunch of great ideas for these mini games. And this is one of them called Base Race. And I won't read all the rules to you, but there's a great article on Daily MTG this week that covers kind of what these mini games are and how they work. And these are just kind of fun games you can play with a single booster pack. So after you crack open your set booster, maybe you'll want to play one of these games, which is pretty cool. And that's a look inside a set booster. And I'm gonna have to sleeve this pathway. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I've got a fresh box.
It looks like Steve is ready. Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead and.
But you left the wrapper on for the extra authenticity.
I left it on because I wanted our audience to get the authentic unboxing experience, Blake.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just like I'm experiencing it. So we've got some box toppers here. A couple of them. I am going to set this one aside because I only have so much room on my camera. But I don't know, chat. Should we open these up or should we save them? Save them for later. What do you think? Gonna wait to see what chat says. We're gonna open them. I'm messing with you, chat. Okay, so here we go. Let's open up the Expedition box toppers. So again, these come every booster box of Magic product that you get, whether it's a draft booster, set booster, or collector booster, you're gonna get one of these Expedition box toppers. For the collector boosters, you get 2 of them. So I got an Arid Mesa.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That is one of the original Zendikar enemy fetch lands. I remember that. One now, one last.
Now you have to open up another white-red land.
Now I have to, okay,
just to keep the pattern.
All right, here we go. One now, one late is a good call. They're saying one now, one later, so I'm going to save this one for later. We will open it before the stream is over. Okay. So now let's open these up. So if you haven't seen the collector booster packaging yet, it features our new 4-color friend Omnath, which is fun. So we got. By the way, chat, this is not pre-recorded. I see a lot of comments and they're saying that this is obviously pre-recorded. It's super not Leosk 24. So we've got Cliffhaven Sellsword, Scavenged Blade. Gavin, what can you tell me about the equipments that are colored artifacts in this set? Because I have fond memories of the original Zendikar with stuff like adventuring gear, stuff like Explorer Scope, coming in and being equipments that were really, really thematically resonant to the set. What can you tell us about sort of the rationale between doing these colored artifact versions of these equipments?
Yeah, so Zendikar, we really wanted to get back to the adventure world, right? We kind of took a departure last time with Battle for Zendikar and went a little more into the Eldrazi framework. Now we're back to the adventure world that everyone knows and loves. And a big piece of that in original Zendikar was the equipment. Of course, if you're going to go on an adventure, you need to be outfitted with the best equipment you can. And so this time around, we wanted to do equipment. Of course, that made a lot of sense. But one of the things that we've learned since original Zendikar is that equipment can be very, very powerful. And in particular, in Limited, it's really easy for the same equipment to just keep going into the same decks, right? Or maybe like Trusty Machete is a great example.
Trusty Machete, everywhere you look, Trusty Machete.
Right.
So great.
In the original Zendikar, that was maybe the best card you could open because it was a colorless equipment. So this time around, a lot of the equipment is colored because we started doing colored artifacts not too long ago. And now that really helps define what kind of decks they can go into a little bit more. So it's cool that there is some equipment that has a color. There's still some colorless pieces of equipment too, but there's a little bit with a color in the set. Sorry, I interrupted your awesome Linvala there, but there's the...
Oh yeah, no, we opened the Linvala Shield of Seagate, which is an angel wizard. Also opened Journey to Oblivion, which I believe is an homage to Journey to Nowhere, also in the original Zendikar set.
Correct.
So we got
I gotta say,
Territorial Ice Cat. Ooh, I love this card.
Steve, so far your pack seems really well set up to use that Arid Mesa. I gotta say, you got a good red-white stuff.
Yeah. We got a Scoot Swarm here, another callback to I think
Scoot
Rob,
Swarm
right? Back in the day. Yeah. And
yeah.
we have our foil showcase is Akum Hellhound. Love me some Akum Hellhound. Nice. And we have a Nahiri's Lithoforming as our showcase foil. Or
there are some people who are real high on that card. Yeah.
Seems very good. I am looking forward to playing with these. I guess we soldier on, chat. We soldier on.
Nahiri's Lithomancer is a card where I don't know what it's going to do, but it's probably going to do something ridiculous. I don't know exactly what it is yet. It'll be something awesome.
So we got Field Research, which is that lovely draw spell. So it's cool to see. I love opening these collector boosters and seeing the foils. Right, the foil treatment is a lot of fun. I'm a guy that really likes foils. I've always liked foils. I have a cube that's all foil that I really enjoy. Oh, there it is. There's the cup.
Oh, there it is. We did.
There it is. The Evolved Cup Island.
Evolved Cup Island. And then we've got Agadim's Awakening, and on the back is Agadim the Undercrypt. It's really cool. So the modal double-faced cards, for those of you that are just tuning in, you can play them in your hand either as the front side, which is a spell, or the other side is a land. There is no trigger to transform them. You either choose to play it one way or another. And then we've got a foil Needle Verge Pathway and Pillar Verge Pathway. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then we've got Spitfire Lagak, our old friend Spitfire Lagak. Canyon Jerboa.
Canyon
Jerboa. Which is
Jerboa. Not your Roba.
Creature type power. And then we have Bright Climb Pathway / Grime Climb Pathway. So got 2 of those things there. And then our foil showcases Skycleave Squid. Skyclave Squid, which is the defender that when you landfall, it can attack as though it did not have defender. And the final card is an Expedition Sea of Clouds, a foil Expedition Sea of Clouds, which is, of course, in the
awesome.
That's
in
nice.
a set that I know that was near and dear to your heart, Gavin, which is Battle Bond. These originated in Battle Bond, right?
Very much so. I'm so glad we made the original 5 in Battle Bond, and I can't wait for you to all get the other 5 in Commander Legends, which I can say now, which is great.
Yes, you can finally say it. It's true.
Now, Steve, can you hold on? You can hold on that Bright Climb Pathway for just a second, because while you were revealing this, I went back and actually found my signed art card, one of the signature cards, which is a Bright Climb Pathway. So you can kind of see how it looks in relation to the card. And I
haven't actually seen one of those.
You can kind of see it here, really cool. But there's this artist shimmer. If my webcam was better, you could see it better. But right there at the bottom is kind of artist signed signature that shimmers really well at the bottom of this thing. So it's super cool. There's an example of the card that Steve just opened, and these look awesome. So,
and you get those approximately 1 in every 6 art cards.
Yeah,
I had to look that up today for a different reason, but yeah.
All right, so we've got an insect token on the back here. I like to hold it this way so it's a surprise. I like being surprised by the cards that are in my pack. Molten Blast, which I suspect will be decently good in this limited format. We have Tajuru Nightblade, Blightblade, Malakir Blood Priest, Disenchant. I love seeing Disenchant come back. I love that card. It's been around since the very beginnings of Magic. It's one of my favorite white cards. It does so much in so many different formats.
Fun fact about Disenchant. So I am on a nostalgia kick. I've been reading old Duelists and old Inquests and stuff like that lately. And I think it was an old issue of Inquest. They did like the top 10 most powerful cards of all time. And this was back in the 90s. So that Magic wasn't huge at that time. And the list is a little... It's not a list that would be put out today, but Disenchant was on the top 10 most powerful cards list, and it just kind of shows where Magic has gone since then.
Ooh, yeah, for a
while, Disenchant was like verboten, right? Like it was, we cut it for naturalized, and White could no longer get something as efficient as Disenchant, and then we finally brought it back, which made me very happy. Turns out the card is still...
we made naturalized better, too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Look at that. So, yeah, these are what the collector... Yeah, there's no blue in this pack. That was pretty surprising. Didn't see any blue in this pack. Let's see, that was... I don't know.
It's because Blake took all the blue cards.
That is a very Blake thing to do. I do really love... Okay, we have a blue card.
No apologies. There's a blue card. Blake and a solid one, too.
Yeah, I like that card.
Yep. Especially in the Rogues archetype. I've definitely... Set just came out today. I've definitely had my spell countered by Anti-Cognition already.
Of course you have. One of the things as somebody who came in really loving the original Zendikar, it's cool to see all of the homages to stuff in the original Zendikar, and then some of the throwbacks to even Zendikar, Battle for Zendikar, rather. It's cool to see. I like it. Full art.
Yeah, I mean, one of the advantages for us having designed, this is our third Zendikar block now, if you want to call it a single set of block, is we've done a bunch of it before, so we know what players like. We could also reference things that players know about from the past, which is why there are, I think, some pretty fun references to the original set here.
Check it out. It's the showcase version of Warog.
Oh, yeah, that card is...
That
card is strong.
Extremely strong.
A lot of ways to go infinite with that card.
Fearless Fledgling and a foil Valakut Exploration. Lovely. All right, I think I've got one more before I open 6, and then I guess we can... Oh, no, I've got a couple more before... No, one more.
And don't forget to open that box topper, Steve. I'm going to hold you to it.
I won't forget. I promised chat that we would open up the other box topper at the end.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So Scorch Rider. I love that Kicker came back too, Gavin. I'm one of those people that really loved a multi-kicker. So I'm one of those people, but I will take Kicker if multi-kicker was not available.
Um,
Let's see. Ooh, Bayin Veil. This is a modal double face card.
You know, a fun
Gavin.
story about the set is we actually tried some other mechanics instead of Kicker. For example, we tried a mechanic called Titan, which was just Kicker but always at 7 mana, and it was basically the set that it got upgraded. But eventually we decided just to go back to Kicker because people know Kicker, they love Kicker. There's old cards that it works with, and even though from a design perspective, Kicker is like kind of the catch-all mechanic, it can be anything at all times. It just made so much sense here.
Gavin, here's something that's
really I didn't
realize.
Awesome.
I did not realize this. I didn't know, and I should have known this, but I didn't know that there were extended border versions of the Commander Commander-specific cards this time around in the collector boosters.
Yeah, so you can get extended art versions of the cards that are the face cards in the Commander Legends decks. And this is important for a few reasons. One, we know that Commander players love to get the coolest versions of their cards, so you can go get an awesome version of Anawan and Obun this way. But also, we've heard a lot of feedback from people who don't always want to have to play with foils, right? Some people don't like that they can only find foil versions of certain commanders. So this is a way of getting non-foil versions of Anawan and Obun into the world as well. So you can find those here in these boosters.
Oh, Phylath. Look at all these legends. I'm gonna have so much brewing to do for new commander decks. Let's see. Oh, here's the Branch Loft and Boulder Loft
nice.
pathway.
Okay, now we've had at least one duplicate opened.
I believe so. And then the foil Makindiox and the Grakmaw Skyclave Ravager. Yet another. So this was the commander pack. It felt like three legends, all different colors. You know, different color pairs. This was the commander pack for sure. All right, I've got one more to sort of make it to halfway through the box.
Right.
And then
one more pack, then and then we'll do a couple more set boosters, and we'll take a look at the pre-release pack. Yeah, and while you're doing that, Gavin, there were a couple questions in chat. I figure we'll start throwing some of those out there now. One question was, what were the challenges in designing Omnath as a 4-color? Because 4-color legendaries are not something we do very often. What were the challenges with Omnath?
Yeah, totally. Well, you know, we wanted to do another Omnath because Zendikar, and that's a staple here. And it made sense to continue to evolve Omnath from, we saw mono green originally, and then red green, and then in the core set we saw the 3-color one. So now it's time for a 4-1. And there are a couple things going on here. First of all, 4-color legends are ironically often defined by the color they aren't. So instead of trying to figure out what it is to be these 4 colors, it's okay, what about doing something that is not this color? And additionally, we do have a lot of mechanical space for Omnath. We've got Landfall, of course, as a really big one here in particular. So so when we were designing this Omnath, we knew it really wanted to be tied to Landfall, and that's really where the core of this ability came from. You're going to get abilities when you play lands, and it's going to scale up for every more land you can play in a turn. So that's kind of where the idea for this Omnath came from. And it does 3 things that are not black and are pretty sweet. So it really challenges you to play a bunch of lands.
Next up, so Gavin, there seems to be a pretty clear delineation between party and landfall in draft. How did the team work on delineating those two, and was there any look at making them overlap a little bit more?
I have an answer, but first, I will not be able to say another word until I know exactly what this Expedition Steed is hiding on the screen.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Find out together. It is Verdant Catacombs.
Another
double fetch land,
from the original Zendikar. So this is a very thematically resonant set of box toppers, which I appreciate.
Arid Mesa and
Verdant on the extended art Anawan.
Yeah.
I believe it was 7 something. Hold on, I'll look. I'm looking now.
Really cool.
It was 7. Yeah, the collector number is 7 on it.
All right. Okay, Gavin,
so to your question,
party versus landfall. Yes.
Party versus landfall. I know that the development team did a lot of work with trying to massage the mechanics from this set. to see what should work together and what wasn't going to work together quite as much. Landfall, we knew we wanted to bring back because of Zendikar. Like, it's just a key part of the setting. Party was something we latched onto pretty early as a way to build up this kind of adventuring party, this very Dungeons and Dragons feeling thing of getting your wizard and your cleric, your rogue and your warrior. And so we knew about those things were going to be there. And I think that, there are a couple of things that will overlap the strategies. And similarly, there's some, even though not literally called out on cards, when you're playing limited, there will be plenty of times where they do overlap. For example, some of the aggressive landfall cards pair really, really well with, say, the warrior strategy. But in limited, sometimes it's nice to have things that don't touch quite as much to kind of, so you can find your silo and live in it. So I can't speak to the exact intricacies of how limited finally came together. That was really more Andrew Brown and the play design team on this one. But I do know that they did a lot of work figuring out how much they would overlap in particular, and making sure that they weren't totally an opposite. Like I said, there are many strategies that will want to play both cards together, either if you're a slower controlling deck with those slower landfall cards as well as the slower party cards, or if you're a quicker aggressive deck playing both landfall cards and party together. Even though they don't work together by name, they often work together in terms of strategy.
Mm-hmm. Next question I've got for you is why no traps in Zendikar?
Yeah, so that has been a popular question. Quests and traps, two things that debuted in original Zendikar and are not here this time. And when working on Zendikar Rising, there was like a very careful line to walk versus how much that we did in original Zendikar do we want to bring back? Because if we brought back everything, it would feel a lot like original Zendikar. But if we did things entirely new, almost like we did with Battle for Zendikar, it would feel too far away. And so we wanted to take things that were popular the first time and bring some of them back, but not all of them back. And traps were tried out, and they just ultimately didn't end up making all the way through. Much like how allies were discussed for a while too, but eventually they just conflicted too much with party and what was looking at there. So traps are certainly considered. I think if we do Zendikar again, there's a reasonable chance that we'll try them again, but they didn't end up making it through this time around.
Okay. Next question I have is actually for me. Will the art series card image gallery tomorrow include both signed and non-signed images? No, it's just going to include the signed images. They look exactly the same, just the one has a signature and one doesn't. So I think you can use your imagination on that.
Can I answer a question I saw?
Yeah, please.
Villagante8 asks why people don't like foils. I mentioned that we like making non-foil versions of cards like the Commander deck products. Some people love foils. Some people don't enjoy foils as much. And we just want to make sure that there's variety. And for years and years and years, we've only released the Commander deck foils, the new Commander deck Legends as foil. So this is just a way to have more variety out there. And if you love foils, great, awesome. You can go get the foil versions yourself. And if you don't like them, there's something for you. And we really want to try and make sure that when we're making new cards, we create versions that no matter what kind of Magic player you are, you can enjoy. So there you go.
Yeah. A lot of people like their decks to match, and some cards were printed too early to be in foil, and we haven't gotten around to making foil versions of them yet. And so I know I have an on the opposite side of that, I have an all foil Azami deck. And there are some real powerful cards that could go in it that are just old and were never printed in foil. And I just avoid putting them in there because they don't match the rest of the deck. So that's one reason that it might happen.
Totally.
Yep. So Gavin, why don't we open a couple more set boosters?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do it. And I will hold them up as best I can to the camera. But here we go. All right, so once again, set booster. Let's crack it open and see what we get inside. So we're going to start off, well, how about that? We'll start off with this art series card. This is Anawan, the Rune Sage right there. We opened him up before. Not only can you find him in Collector Boosters Extended Art, but you can, of course, get the awesome art card here. And once again, on the other side, just like the Modern Horizons art series cards, it's an area you can sign or hang out with. Very cool. All right, next up, we've got that full art basic land. A swamp to bring us in, and this is the part of the set booster we call the welcome part of the set booster. It's like a first chapter. You get that art card, you get this land, and then these 6 connected commons and uncommons, and these will all be connected to each other, the commons to the commons and the uncommons to the uncommons. So we've got a Tazim Raptor, which is a flying bird, and this Mesa Lynx, followed by Vanquish the Weak, which kills off small creatures, and Blood Price, which is kind of a nice little draw spell. So the black-white archetype in this limited format, these will go right into that kind of strategy we built up there of a little bit of life gain, life loss stuff with clerics. At uncommon, we've got Roiling Regrowth, which sacrifices a land to give you 2 basic land cards, and Skyclave Pickaxe. Now let's move into the next section here. These are the wild cards that can be anything. We've got Kabira Takedown, which is one of those nice multi-double face cards, or modal double face cards, excuse me. And then another Vanquish the Weak. Coming up after that, we've got Adventure Awaits. And this, excuse me, is in the other wild card slot. And then as our rare mythic slot, we've got Turn Timber Symbiosis. So this is one of the new modal double face cards as well, one of the mythic rare ones. It is a spell on one side and a land on the other side. And then in the back, we have our foil, which is Ruin Crab. A nice little nod to Hedron Crab.
Ruin Crab.
Oh, I miss Hedron Crab. I miss you, little buddy.
And then at the back, we have a token, a little plant token right here. Use it for the new green-red rare that makes plants, or Avenger of Zendikar, whatever you're feeling at the moment. And maybe I can open up one more, maybe? What do you think?
Yes, no? Keep going. I think I'd like to open up one that has a card from the list. So we might just keep going until we get to that.
It's about 1 in 4. So, all right, let's see if this one gets any closer. All right, so we've got... Okay, spoilers. This pack has a card from the list in it because the back of it is a magic card back. That's your cheating way of knowing it.
There we go.
So we'll see what it is. Okay, we've got an art series card. This time around, it's Grim Climb Pathway. Very cool. Followed by, now we hit our low chance here of a foil basic land. So check out this Foil Swamp by Adam Paquette. Very, very nice. This shows up every now and then in these set boosters. Coming up next, we've got our 6 connected commons and uncommons. We've got Ardent Electromancer, which cares about party. So I bet the next card will care about party too, or maybe wizards. Let's see. We've got a Rogue, so there's a card that'll go great into your party. We've got an Expedition Champion, which is a warrior that cares about having warriors. And we've got a Dauntless Survivor, another warrior. So you kind of see, once again, that movement through these connected commons and uncommons of caring about party, to having a warrior, to caring about warriors, to having another warrior that cares about warriors, in fact. So perfect. Then we can move on to the 2 uncommons that are here. This one cares about your opponent having 8 or more cards in their graveyard, followed by a card that also cares about your opponent having 8 or more cards in their graveyard and mills them. So you see kind of how those cards are connected. Now we're going to move into our wild card slots. These can be 2 of anything. We've got this is the showcase slot. Excuse me, not the wild card slot. I always get excited for those wild cards. We've got the Skyclave. We've got Skyclave Squid, which is a showcase version of the card in the set. Now we're under our wild cards, and we've got Ardent Electromancer, a nice common, and Concerted Defense, another a nice uncommon. Now we'll move into our rare, which is Tabarax, Hope's Demise, a great little legendary creature. Could build a commander deck around this, one of the new legends in the set. We're going to move into our foil, which is Inordinate Rage, one of my favorite art pieces in the set. If you haven't seen it, now you can see it slightly more than you could before. And now we're going to get into our list card. And for the list cards, I always start by pushing from the bottom up and trying to guess what it is. So we'll see if I can figure it out here. Okay, so once again, it has this little Planeswalker symbol in the corner, so you can tell that it's off of the list. And I'm going to pull it up, and we've got Triplicate Spirits. So this is a card that was put on the list from M15, one of 300 possible cards you can open on the list. And, just to speak about the list for a second, there's a lot of stuff on this list, and I've gotten a lot of feedback of, what kind of cards were chosen to be on the list. And just like the original Time Spiral bonus sheet or the mystery boosters, the idea of the list is to show just a wide range of things that have happened throughout Magic. So there's a lot of different mechanical things going on here. And yes, of course, there are some pretty hot and exciting reprints that show up on the list, but also just some cards that you see and will make your head turn or remind you of a memory or make you think about something that happened in Magic history. And with Triplicate Spirits as an example, I think of the return of Convoke in M15. I think about how this was one of the best draft cards you could draft back in that format, about how I built fun constructed decks with it. So even though it's just a common, it has a lot of memories that are really, really strong for me. And I hope that the list, as you open up those cards, elicit kind of a similar reaction. In my in the video I made where I opened up some set boosters, I opened up a Parallax Wave, and that card is a card that has so many memories for me back from playing it in original Masks block. So I hope as you open up your list cards in the set boosters, you also find really fun memories with them, or if you're newer to the game, find all kinds of fun stories to tell.
Yeah,
I do really,
now,
I like
Gavin, from
memories and not like good memories necessarily, because I do remember Triplicate Spirits and I remember getting wrecked by it at every M15 draft I attended. So yes, memories, but maybe not necessarily good memories, just like strong memories a lot of the time.
Just
Sorry,
depends
Blake,
on
I
which side you're
interrupted.
on. Depends which side.
Gavin, question from chat: can cards in the list be in foil?
No, cards from the list cannot appear in foil. Similar to with mystery boosters, how there's kind of only that one sheet that showed up in foil. Here, only non-foil cards on the list. So maybe at some point that could change, but there's a lot that goes into making list cards happen, and so they all appear in non-foil.
Gavin, when developing slots like the list, does R&D think of these sort of innovations as being reprints?
Do we think of these kind of innovations as being reprints? So we're always looking for new ways to innovate in our sets and products, and we're trying to come up with new cool things to do. Sometimes they're going to be reprints, and sometimes they're going to be brand new things. And I think in Zendikar Rising, you see that where you've got Hedron frames as a really cool new thing that we're doing, in the showcase style, as well as reprinting a bunch of old cool cards in the set boosters. The goal of the list was once again to give you kind of a fun look behind Magic's great history. So even though you're opening up a Zendikar Rising booster, you could find something old and kind of cool in there every now and then, something that you've never seen before, or is a weird quirky card, or a reprint you need for a deck or something like that. And so sometimes we will innovate using this kind of thing. And I think Mystery Booster was a big pioneer in this space of showing how much people really enjoyed the kind of walk down memory lane. So I think you'll see that not just here, but maybe at other points in the future.
Gavin, which cards in Zendikar would you say may have been designed with Brawl in mind?
Yeah, certainly. Brawl is a format that has really taken off on Magic Arena in particular. And one of the things that we focus on when we think about Brawl are the legendary cards. That's a really, really, really big one. Because unlike Commander, which certainly has legends of all colors and types to pull from, in Brawl, you only have the legends that are available in Standard. And so thinking and crafting those legends, knowing that Brawl is a way you could play them, is certainly something that was thought about when creating these. I don't know if every single color combination is currently available in Standard, but certainly that was something that we thought about when working on these and making sure that the right color combinations were there, or that we created cards for different color combinations, as well as just making cards that would be fun to build around for Brawl gameplay.
Okay. Here's a doozy. Any chance we can see Oko again as a card? Give him a chance at redemption.
I mean, if there's one thing I know Magic players love, it's Oko. So no problem. But, I'll say this about Oko, which is that a card being incredibly powerful or incredibly weak is not a reason that we wouldn't see it again. For example, Tybalt is a character where his original card was very, very weak. People like Tybalt, and we've made new Tybalts since that first one came out. We made one in War of the Spark. So it's not off the table that we could make another Tybalt at some point in the future. Similarly, it's not off the table that we can make another Oko at some point in the future if the time is right. It's an interesting character, the kind of trickster space. So I don't think it's off the table. No, it probably would not +1 to make things elk though. I'll say that much.
Probably not. Is there anything you can tell us about Kaldheim? No. Yeah, that's all we got for that one. It's sweet, Jerry. There you go. Are the set boosters going to be available in Spanish, or are they only going to be draft boosters in Spanish?
I believe that set boosters are only available in English and Japanese at the moment.
I think that's correct, and I know that. I know that said. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Correct. It's English and Japanese only. With that said, we are looking into expanding it into other languages over time. just as you might imagine from seeing those set boosters opened up, there's a lot of very careful and difficult things that go into them. All of the list cards being one, the connected commons and uncommons, plenty of tricks go into creating them. But our hope is to get them out to more regions in time, especially if the original run is popular, which, based on all of your reactions, sounds like it certainly will be.
Harrison Fjord, which is a objectively great screen name. Are there any plans to do a great? Are there any plans to do a great designer search 4 in the near future? Not that I've been looped in on.
You know, I think with the Great Designer Search, it's something that we like doing. It's really, really fun. I know Rosewater loves it a lot, but there's a couple things going on with it. First of all, it's a huge time commitment. I mean, we can't understate how much time this thing takes up, especially with the last one, how popular it was. Second of all, we kind of only can run one when we actually have, when it's time to actually bring people in, right? Because the goal of the Great Designer Search is at the end we can offer some internships into Wizards. And traditionally, it's even though we advertise it as just one opportunity to potentially work at Wizards, it usually ends up as more. And from the last one, as a great example, both Arnier and Chris Mooney were brought in from it. So it's the kind of thing that can happen again when the time is right. I doubt we've seen the last of the Great Designer Search, but also it takes a lot of stars aligning to actually make it happen. So there you go.
All right. Grigos asks, will you be bringing foil-etched glossy printing techniques like the Zendikar Expeditions printing to more products in the future?
Whenever we try out a new thing, I think if people like it, we'll do more of it. It's just kind of, that's how Magic tends to work. If you love something when we try it out, we generally go back and do more. Mm-hmm. So with the new foil-etched cards, for example.
I opened the rest of my box. I might have. I got it. Yeah. Well, I was off screen. I had some other highlights too. Here's a little. I got to do that way.
Just like minor highlights.
Minor highlights. Yeah.
Speaking of things players love, awesome, gorgeous cards. So with something like foil etched cards, which are debuting in Commander Legends, and if you haven't seen them, go to YouTube, type in foil etched. You'll find my video, which shows off a foil etched Prosh that I have. It's super cool, and if you all love it when Commander Legends comes out and the feedback is positive, I feel very confident you will see more of it in the future. And the same is true for all these other things like the extra glossy styles that we're trying. Magic has done foils one way for a very long time, and now we're looking at what are other ways we can do that kind of high-level premium treatment. And if you love them, we'll keep doing them.
Great. This is a question for me. When does the spoiler season for Commander Legends start? Right now, October 12th. We reserve the right to change that date if something cool comes up. But October 12th is when we're looking at previews starting. Not a question, but just a statement. Steve looks like the happiest guy on the planet. You know what? He's a pretty happy guy. Steve is a pretty happy guy indeed. All right, we are we're out of time.
Just as an example, I dug this up. This is what an etched foil card will look like in Commander Legends. Not Zendikar related, but I thought you'd want to see it anyway. Once again, my webcam doesn't really do it justice, but go look for the video on YouTube. And it's kind of this this treatment that goes across the whole card. So just pointing it out because we just talked about it. So there you are.
Oh, you can kind of see the reflective. There it is. Very nice.
Yeah, you can kind of see it a little bit, but just go check out my awesome video. It's way better than this.
Yep. So we are out of time, but I did notice the question: what's the reason for only 6 modal double face card dual lands in Zendikar? Check out Mark Rosewater's articles lately. I forget exactly which one, but he does address it. If not, fun fact. On September 25th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we will be hosting a panel with Mark Rosewater, actually as part of Hasbro's PulseCon. So I will be there moderating and asking Mark a bunch of your questions about Zendikar Rising. So if you're interested, definitely check out PulseCon. I don't have an email or a URL for that right now because I just decided to say something about it, but it's going to be happening on the morning of September 25th. Mark Rosewater, going to answer a bunch of questions. In the meantime, go check out Zendikar Rising if you can at local game stores this weekend. And again, if stores are able to run pre-releases, they effectively have a week to run them. We didn't even get to pre-release packs, but that's what they look like. So check with your local game store to see what they're doing for pre-release events. Some of them are letting you take product home and then running events virtually. Some of them are just letting you buy product. So check with your local game store to see what they're doing. And then Zendikar Rising releases everywhere next week. And we will be back next Thursday with more Zendikar Rising stuff. In the meantime, Gavin, thank you for joining us. And everyone else, thank you for hanging with us while we crack some packs, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.